The next concept is easy relation. So easy relation is also called as a inheritance. So inheritance means, if you remember, this same concept earlier we were using like parent and child. So here inheritance is nothing but the program, like whatever the behavior is between parent and child class. Okay, so that means parent is having some abilities. So if you wanted to be reuse that same abilities, and you can reuse that parent class into child class. Okay, so the definition wise, if you see, acquiring a properties that might be attribute or methods from one class to another class. The best example how you can, let's take, we have a parent is having some property. Let's take he has two lands or one house. Okay, let's take as a house. So your father is having a house, so you don't have the house. So when you are going to be use that, so your father property is belongs to you. Along with that you have few more properties. Let's take you have two more houses. So whenever you consider that property like one property from your father, two properties from yours, so that means total three. So obviously a parent, whatever the feature it is having, that everything is going to be adapting to you. So whatever the abilities it has, the parent, that everything will be applicable to your class. So in the example, if you see, let me remove this stuff. So you have a father, let's take it as a parent. So parent is having two properties. Let's take house, okay, and car. So he has two properties. Let's take it is a house and car. So child is having only land. Let's take its land. So what is the total child is having? So this child is having what are the two properties like house and car and land. So total will be house, car, and land. So this house is not coming from directly child. So this house is coming from parent, and car also not coming from child. It is from parent. But finally, if you consider all the property, it is house, car, and land. So in this scenario, let's take one more child is there. So let's give it as a child one. So another child is there, child two. So this child is having another car. Let's take car one. Okay, and house, house one. So how many? Let's take this one as a child one total properties. So child two. So child two total properties are how many? Same. Whatever the parent is having, that everything will be applied. That is house. Let me separate it here. So child two will be having one is house, car, and car one, house one. Okay. So these are the properties will be having the child two. So whatever the parent, okay, parent is last here. So whatever the parent is having house, car, okay, it is applicable for both of them. So car, house, car, and the rest land. Child one is having extra land, and child two is having car and a house, car and a house. So how you can achieve this one? So this parent behavior, like parent is having two things, how this parent property information will be applicable to the child. So to achieve this one, you should be writing like this: class child 1 extends parent. Okay, so this is the way you need to be use it. When you are going to define a child class, you should use this way: child class name and extends with the parent class. So that means here the parent, whatever the features it has, automatically will be applicable to the child class. Similarly, the second child, if you are going to write class child 2 extends parent. Okay, this is the way. So let's take the same example. So I'm going to be just keep it this parent as a, specifically I'm just defining this parent it as a mother. Okay, so and another one, another parent, it's a father. So father is having land 4. Okay, if you see the difference, so father is having land 4, mother is having house and car. So when you wanted to be use these two, one thing you should remember, should you should not use both of them. So one thing here, so this way is not able to applicable. Okay, you should not write this way. So that means father is there, mother. If you see the diagram, it's of two things. This is mother object and this is a father object. Okay, and it's a child one. So this concept is not at all applicable in Java. Okay, so here what is happening? Father and mother, it's two parent objects. Two parents objects are calling by child class. So this call it as a multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is not at all possible in Java. So either one, you can take it from mother or father. Okay, so you cannot take it from both. Okay, so this kind of behavior is not at all possible. So to achieve this one, either you can do it from this way. So you can take it from this approach. So this is possible. So here, what is happening? So father property is comes to mother. So mother is ultimately give it to the child. So this is called it as a single line inheritance. Okay. So if the same thing called by child, father directly calling this child one is calling father property and calling from mother property, that's not possible. So either this approach, okay, can possible. So father property comes to mother, mother is handing over to child one. This one will be possible. So to achieve that multiple inheritance, there is another options we have that we will see in the downline. Okay, so this is one of the information for inheritance. So if you see, go back to the program PPT here, acquiring a properties. So you're talking about the class that's attributes and methods. So which is there in the parent that is calling to the another class. Another class is nothing but a child class. So we can achieve inheritance between parent and child class by using extend keyword. So the main advantage, what is the main advantage at here? So your class, parent class is having some implementation and child class wanted to reuse that same implementation. You don't need to be re-implement the same thing, house and car related implementation. You can simply reuse it. Okay, how you can reuse it? By using extend keyword. So here parent class is having some implementation and mother class also having some implementation. Anyway, this implementation is not possible, okay, because it's a two parent classes is calling by child class. Okay, so parent is having some implementation. So this parent implementation to achieve or reuse into child one by using extend keyword. So that is extend keyword. The main reusability, its main advantage is code reusability. So we have three classes: father class, okay, and mother class. Now we created a child class. So child one class. So father class is having one feature, that is house, and mother class will be having it's a car feature. So child wanted to use, okay, either one, either father or mother. So how you can, you need to be use a keyword as extends, then father class. So that means here you will be having the ability father related property information and child related information. Okay, so to use that, let's create another, or you can directly write it here like so better to write a separate class, that will be easy, otherwise it will be clumsy all of them. So I'm just giving as inheritance. Okay, example, inheritance example. So here public static void main. Okay, so I wanted to be create a object for child. So child class cls. Okay, otherwise just you can call it as child class, new child class of. If you see that how many methods is going to be visible now, just if you put it dot, see, land and house. So this house information is coming from parent. Okay, and another one is child class dot land. So if you run this program, the output will be both child related and father related. So both of the output is giving it here. If you see, one house, land one. But actually child is having that feature. There is no house related. Okay. But you are able to access it. You just define the object and house and land directly you are going to access it. So this kind of information is called it as a inheritance. So it's mainly for code reusability. So you are not define anything in the child class related to house, simply you are going to reuse it from the parent class. How you can achieve? By using extend keyword. So here father property is key. Let's take mother also. If you try to write it, see here, it's giving an error. So if you place the cursor, it is saying class can't extend multiple classes. So that means multiple inheritance is not possible at here. So you need to be use either one, either mother class or father class. Okay, let's get remove the father related and try it. Now you should get a mother property like it's a car. So output should be car one and land one. Okay, so here if you see, it is giving as a red color. So this house is coming from parent. Okay, that's father class, but there is no father class yet implemented in child class. That is the reason it is giving error. I'm just commenting that. Okay, so instead of this one, I will be use it mother related. So it's a car. If you run it, car and land will be the output. See here, output car and land. So this is reusability concept. Okay, and inheritance also. So this kind of things you can see across your programming. So parent will be having some implementation, and you can reuse it. And there is one more thing. Let's take mother, whatever information is giving, like a parent class is giving to child class. If you don't want that implementation, let's take car she has given, but a car you can remodel it, right? So that means whatever the father class is giving a features, if you would like to continue, you can continue with the same. Otherwise you can remodel it. Let's take, I'm taking the father class. So this extends with the father related, right? So let me comment this mother, and let's use the house. So whatever the father is giving a house, if you don't want to use that same features, so let's take, he has given one house to me. So in that house it has some features like one bedroom, one kitchen, okay, one toilet. So if I don't want to use those things, if I want to, means remodel it, okay, so I can remodel, like I can extend some uh, space, or I can remodel to the new features, okay, so I can do it. So that kind of feature I can do it in my child class. So similarly in this program, so whatever the child class you have, the land, some of the information is coming from father. Whatever the parent class information is given to the child class, if you don't want to be continue the same thing, you can remodel it. Similarly here you can redesign, like you can re-implement the same thing in the child class. Let's take the father is house. You need to be take it this method signature. So this is the method signature, like house is the method name, and arguments whatever it is giving, and return type access specifier. You need to take the same thing, come to the child class, you should re-implement it. So I'm just giving it as a house 2. If you notice, father is having house method, child also having house method, okay, two methods, one is from child, another one is from parent. But initially if we see, whatever the father related information, you are able to call it into the child, okay. So what I will do, let's just comment it for time being, run the program, see the output, and we will enable it whatever it's commented. See the output here is one house land one, because when it is running, it's using land information from this class, and whatever the father property is having, that output is giving here. So if I enable this one, so here my intention was I am redesigning my house, whatever its father has given to me. So I don't want to be use the same features which it was having when my father was maintaining that house. So I wanted to be extend something, like the color is not uh, liking, so I can give my own color to that house. The second thing is interior, I can extend my interior. So these all are the remodeling things. So let's take the same here, whatever the house is coming from my father. So this I have done my own implementation. If I run this class, the output should be child class related. See here the output, house 2 and land 1. So what is happening in this? So whatever the implementation, first let's, how the program will be. First it will look that is the same method, whatever the method you are calling house, is existing in the child class or not. Yes, it exists. So then it will pick that implementation. Let's take if it don't have this implementation in the child class, then it will go to parent class. Who is the parent for this class? This is father is the parent class. So it will look for the father. So is father is having that or not? Yes, it has. So then it will print the output. Okay. And one more thing, whatever the class you are going to write it. So here child class. child class parent is father. So every class there is one parent class. So whether you write it or not, let's take here father. So father, who is the parent? So usually in Java, every class there is one parent class, that is object. So internally it will be like this. Whether you specify or not, internally for every class it's going to be write it like this. Okay. So I will show you one example here. So in this object class, what are the methods it has? Get class is there, equals is there, hash code is there, okay, and clone is there, toString is there, so many are. So what I'm going to do now, s out toString. I just give it like this. So this toString, where it is coming from? That's right. So toString. So this toString is coming from object class. So here it's extended. Let's remove this one. Is there any compilation error? There is no compilation error. I'm just reusing from object class. So one thing you should remember, for every class, object is the parent class. So here, let's take the child. Child, who is the parent? Father. Father, who is the parent? Object. Okay, that is the way it is going to be. You might think that. So every class is having the parent class. That means child also is having the parent is object. But one thing, it won't be like this. Okay, because child parent is object. So if it don't have the parent yet here, this will be possible. Okay, but in our example, child class is having the father class, so then this multiple inheritance is not coming at all. So this father class parent is object. So that is the way object class information you can reuse it. Let's cut this one and put it into child class somewhere at here. So there is no compilation error, because as I said, father is parent object. Okay, if there is no extend, you have not written any extend to the child class, then the parent is object class. So how you can get that ability? By using extend keyword. Okay, let's run this program. See here, house 2, land 1, and the child class is the object. Okay, so this is the one, is the toString related. So what you can do, the toString information you can implement it here. Okay, so that's, let me implement that. Generate, there is a toString. Okay, so when you're going to use the toString, you should be having some variable into a. One second. So there is a generator toString. Okay, so this is the toString related. So if I wanted to be call this one, run. See here, father class a equal to 0. If you see the previous one, previous output, if I comment this one, just see the difference. There is no implementation toString yet here. Okay, so if I run this program, just notice the output. So this output is a equal to 0, but here child class at some number is there. So this is object related. Okay, so whatever you are going to see, so this output is object related output. So this is the hash code. Okay, so this kind of information you are not able to understand. Okay, so to change that, you can re-implement one thing here. If you see, one of the annotation is added, that is at to override. Override means it is coming from the parent. Okay, so you should mention that, or if you're not mention it, automatically internally Java is going to apply this way at override. So override in the sense parent is giving that same class related implementation. If you don't want to reuse that same implementation, you can give it your own implementation by using this override keyword. So this override keyword is mainly for your redesigning or re-implementing the same feature into your child class. If you run this program, you can see the output. There is no difference which you seen earlier. See the output? House 2, land 1, and father class a is equal to 0 because int a. So whatever integer, the default value is 0. If you remember the previous classes, we learned data types. At the time of data type, we learned this concept. Okay, how this default value is going to be applied. So for refresh that, just have a look on the previous videos. Equal to 10 if I give it. So that means now I have given my specific value. If I run to this program, I can see output as a 10. Instead of a equal to 0, it will be 10 now. Okay, house 2, land 1, and father class a is equal to 10. So this is nothing but inheritance.